welcome. You're watching The Money Show. I'm Kavita Thapliyal, and today we bring you a deep dive in the growing menace of cybercrime in India. That's right, from judicial scrutiny of AI's role to tragic personal stories that highlight the human cost of online fraud. We will be considering three cases. So let's just talk about topic one, which is Supreme Court questions RBI on AI use in fighting cybercrime. Now, the Supreme Court of India has recently asked the Reserve Bank of India a pointed question. Why isn't AI being used at a scale to detect and freeze bank accounts linked to massive cyber frauds? Now, the issue came up in the context of so-called digital arrest scams, a sophisticated form of cybercrime where perpetrators impersonate officials and coerce victims to transfer significant sums of money using psychological pressure and fake authority. Now, the Supreme Court has also ordered a nationwide CBI investigation into these scams, urging collaborations between the CBI, banks, IT intermediaries, and telecom providers. Now, part of the court's push is to strengthen measures such as AI-driven monitoring to track suspicious transactions and limit multiple SIM cards per individual to reduce anonymity that fraudsters exploit. Now, this move reflects rising concern at the highest judicial level over how tech-enabled crimes are outpacing the current defenses. The second topic, former Punjab Police IG's suicide attempt after cyber scam loss. That's right. Now, in a shocking and tragic incident from Patiala, a retired senior police officer, former Punjab Inspector General Amar Singh Chahal shot himself after allegedly losing close to or almost 8 crores in an online investment scam. Now, according to police and media reports, Chahal was defrauded by fraudsters posing as wealth management advisors through WhatsApp and Telegram. Now, they used false claims of regulatory approvals and high returns to build trust, eventually coercing him into paying large sums and fees that never delivered any legitimate returns. This grim episode, detailed in a handwritten note found at the scene, underscores how even experienced individuals can fall victim to sophisticated online frauds. Authorities are investigating the matter under cybercrime and forgery laws. Third topic, again, ex-CBI officer's wife duped in online investment scam. Another high-profile cybercrime case has emerged from Hyderabad. Now, the wife of former CBI Joint Director lost rupees 2.58 crores in a stock market investment scam. Now, police say she was contacted through WhatsApp with promises of lucrative returns via an online trading app. Believing the pitch, she transferred funds over a period of days, only to later realize it was a fraud. Investigators over years stressed that promise of guaranteed or extremely high returns are classic red flags for scams and emphasize the importance of verifying credentials and reporting incidents early to increase chances of freezing stolen funds. Now, let's discuss this. I have with me Anuj Agarwal, Supreme Court lawyer and specialist in AI and cybercrime and cybersecurity. Hi, sir. Evening and welcome to the show. The Supreme Court, let's take the first topic where the Supreme Court has asked why the RBI isn't using AI to detect and block fraud-linked accounts. Now, in practical terms, we just want to understand, we are seeing scams related to AI as well. And when we talk about identifying cyber threats, when we talk about identifying cyber crimes through AI, how can AI help banks and law enforcement catch these scams earlier? How can it be useful? A tool which can definitely is making our life easier, but is also a threat.
No, I think it's a very good and pertinent question today, that how AI can help, because as you have already mentioned that the cyber frauds, digital arrest and investment frauds are growing by gigantic proportions, and it is all through the banking channel that the money is moving. So the Supreme Court has very rightly asked, very pointedly asked the Council of the RBI to come out with a plan that how they are going to use the AI. Now, AI is something which can match the patterns. AI is something which can check before something goes wrong. Before the human eye can really understand what's going to happen, the AI, as being a very fast tool and has a huge repository of data. So, whomsoever has earlier committed any kind of a fraud, that ID being used, or somebody who is with a low income group is now dealing with crores and crores of rupees, because we have these mule accounts which are being used of laborers and people who are at the lower income group, and they are being made pawn in this entire episode. So, AI can definitely help check all this, and there are RBI regulations already where the certain amount, if it is transferred within a span of time, the banks are supposed to report these transactions to the higher authorities. AI can definitely help reporting as well as in prevention if such transactions happening very frequently, quickly. The account which is dormant, say for a year or 6 months, is suddenly seeing a transfer of crores and crores of rupees. AI can help and alert the authorities, the bank officers, as well as the central banking authorities, RBI, that something is amiss, which they need to investigate or maybe stop the transactions temporarily, ask the investors or the account holders what's going on. So AI is going to be very helpful.
All right. The main question and concern over here is why isn't RBI using AI to detect these kind of scams, and which you very well explained that can be very helpful. But do you think that's the only lag which the Supreme Court has also identified, or there's more to it?
The Honorable Supreme Court has taken a suo moto cognizance of this entire episode. This is that shows that how deep the malice is. They have asked all the ministries, the telecom ministry, the home ministry, and everybody else in the ecosystem, the IT ministry, every state they have asked that why it is happening and how they are going to prevent it. So first of all, they have asked for all the data, that how many such transactions have happened, how many digital arrest cases have happened, and they have also identified the primary kind of cyber crimes happening, and they have identified digital arrest, investment scam, and the job scams as three primary cyber scams happening. Now they have instructed for the authorities to come out with a plan, and they have specifically asked RBI also to join in this entire proceedings with a plan that how they are going to tackle. And they have emphasized that in the age of technology, and these are more or less technologically linked crimes, why the AI is not being used and what is the plan of the RBI to use the AI. So I think it is at the highest level now being discussed. I must tell you also that today also this will be discussed in the Honorable Supreme Court of India, and let us see how the authorities respond and what kind of plan they are going to bring today.
Sure. Let's talk about digital arrest scams. Digital arrest scams combine impersonation, authority pressure, real-time manipulation also. What are the most common tactics used, and why are they so effective against victims? We are seeing a lot of digital arrest cases really going up in recent days and recent months, and cases across all age groups, especially among the senior citizens.
See, the digital arrest scams are flourishing because of two, three psychological footprints which people have already in their mind. Number one, the fear of police coming and arresting somebody and then taking to police station and then to jail, and people rotting in the jails for a longer time without being charged and all that. So these kind of stories are already there. And then there is something called a very heightened sense of social prestige, that nobody should be seen with the police, nobody should be seen talking or being going to the police station, etc. So, basis on this kind of mental makeup, these scamsters are calling people and telling that they are good cops. And since the name of the victim has already there in some big scam, some indigo scam or some scam, it is there, and they will connect people with Naresh Goyal or things like that, and they will say that look, because of your social prestige, we are not coming to your home, we are parked nearby, but we are still allowing you to speak to us on digital modes. You just help us in the investigation, answer our question, and probably if we find you not a good person, we will let you go without your social prestige being harmed. And that is how they get people trapped. And then later on, taking the information from the people itself about their Aadhaar, PAN, bank accounts, they will tell, yes, this is what we were looking for. Now, if you want to get yourself finally cleared, transfer all your money to the accounts which we are sending you. we will finally verify and maybe probably let you go. Now, that is the time when people really get trapped, thinking that after such a grueling session of investigation, since they are innocent in their mind, they will let go and they transfer their money. And of course, that is where these scammers are successful. They get the money and they transfer that money to different accounts and maybe withdraw it or send it abroad, and
Right.
people are looted.
Right. We are also talking about a nationwide CBI probe against digital arrest scam. How do you think this is going to be effective, and how all the stakeholders can come together on one page and, actually see this kind of probe yielding results?
See, the cyber crimes are typically interstate crimes. So the scammers will be sitting in one state and they will always be targeting the victims in the different states. Now, law and order is a state subject, so the police has certain limitations. They can move more freely within their own state. Plus, they have resource crunch also. So, looking at all these constraints, CBI or any central agency is more effective in tackling and tracking and then of course preventing these kind of scams. CBI already has offices in almost all the states. They had been investigating crimes across the country and abroad also. They are also nodal agency for the Interpol, that is the International Police Organization. And many of these scamsters are linked to international locations, Thailand, Myanmar, and various other places. Some people are supposedly in the Middle East and all that. So CBI is one of the best agencies to look into, investigate, and capture these criminals and bring it to law. And it will become easier for everybody to interact with CBI, because if somebody is in a particular state, say in southern state, and they have been victimized by people in different kind of states, so CBI can coordinate it better.
Anuj, what is heartbreaking is that even experts can be victim. Cases like the former IG and ex CBI officer's wife show how sophisticated fraud hurts anyone. Now, I just want to focus on the psychology and technological factors. What psychological, technological factors make even well-informed people susceptible over here? I know I'm talking about, high returns. We are talking about lucrative schemes over here. But then here we are talking about professional people who've been out there, who are aware, who are well-informed, Anuj.
Well, there are multiple personal factors maybe involved. People are in need of money, they have some personal difficulty, and even if some people are educated, they may still be greedy. Okay, and they may be under some kind of a peer pressure. Plus, the AI is also playing a part, that they are getting the websites or the apps dealing with very reputed brand names, and AI is helping these scammers create such similar apps and websites. So people actually believe that they are dealing with somebody who is a big brand. For example, in the IG Chandigarh case, Patiala IG case, it was supposedly DSP. DSP is a very big reputed brand in the investment market. Ramdas Agarwal and all these names are very big names, very reputed names. And when they people deal with similar looking websites or apps, they believe they are dealing with the right people, the reputed people. They really do not know that they are dealing with the scammers. It is only after they do not get anything in return and their entire savings are kind of gone, the communication is lost, then they realize that they were dealing with imposters, people who are look alike. The websites and the apps they were dealing with, they were only look alike. As a matter of fact, these masters are so well trained, they speak the same language. They will put up as if they are the senior officers of these kind of establishments, the mutual funds, the brokerages, and such entities. They will issue fake SEBI registration certificate, etc. So I think the role of SEBI is very, very important, and they should do an active surveillance on the internet and all these apps which are floating around in the name of investment advisors, etc. So there is the problem that it is a mix of technology and psychology which is playing around, and people are falling victims, even those who are educated and well informed.
Exactly. Let's also focus on role of financial regulation and reporting over here. Now, with fraudsters using investments apps and unregulated platforms, what should regulators do? A lot of it is already being done over here, Anuj. What can consumers do to verify the legitimacy before investing? Because that's the crucial aspect.
So the consumers must first of all come to savvy website more frequently before they really believe in some kind of an investment scheme. We must understand and be aware as a consumer in this country that this entire ecosystem is being regulated by the Securities and the Exchange Board of India, which has very good regulations, which has a very informative website, and they have offices across the country, Delhi, Mumbai, and many other big places. And they also respond to queries on email, etc. So I think when you are putting your hard-earned money, large amounts of money, crores of rupees into some kind of a scheme, you must go and look and check the exact registration position. Another thing is that one must understand and study the market a little bit, that what is the average rate of returns typically on schemes. So if somebody is giving you an offer of 100%, 200% return in a year, one must go and check if it is at all possible, or if in last 3 years, 5 years it has ever happened with anybody, especially the kind of schemes they are talking. So I think it is very important, and there is something called let the consumer be aware. It's a very old Latin maxim that it is not only that the supplier or the provider has to be perfect. It is the consumer also, in this world of competition, in this world of maximizing return, and consumer having all the opportunity and knowledge information. It is important that they should also be aware and take sufficient measures to ensure that they are not being conned or duped.
All right, let's also talk about AI in prevention versus detection. Now, there's a push for AI to detect fraud, but can AI also prevent people from falling victim in the first place? How can we do it? I'm also talking on behalf, or maybe just from understanding standpoint, telecom, banks, and SIM controls. Do you think limiting multiple SIMs per user is now part of the strategy to curb cybercrime? How important is this step, and what other infrastructure level changes are needed? How do we incorporate or collaborate AI over here to detect scams?
That's, I think, very important and a good question you have put up. Telecom SIM issuance is one of the first places from where the scamsters start planning their things. So AI can detect multiple SIM usage from the same IDs very recently. So if a scamster is typically getting 10, 20, or maybe 50, 100 odd SIMs issued from the same IDs. Second, the IDs are also being sometimes tampered, and somebody else's ID being used for getting the SIM issued. So there also the AI can help in detecting those fake IDs. So multiple SIMs, fake IDs, and then call pattern. That is something where also the AI can help immensely the telecom regulators, operators, maybe even consumers. And that is also have started happening a little bit. If you see these days, scam alerts are coming on your phone. That is basis the AI only. And the usage pattern up from that particular SIM and that particular subscriber. If that subscriber is making calls and giving fake information, fake promises, that is also being flagged. Of course, it is in a very initial stage, and sometimes it creates these false positives, but probably the benefit outweighs the risk. So AI is being used by the telecom providers. They must use more intensely, and the government should focus, and government should ensure that these tools are more frequently used by these telecom authorities to prevent scammers operating freely in this country.
Right. I think we cannot wrap up the discussion without emphasizing and putting thrust on the golden hour reporting. We are aware of it. Authorities say reporting fraud quickly improves chances of freezing funds. What public awareness strategies could actually make this behavior widespread? And also, what's the turnaround ratio of this golden hour reporting? Do we actually get our money back?
Very good question on this money show. I must tell you that if people are reporting scams as quickly as they come to know, say within 10, 15 minutes, half an hour, and maximum an hour of it happening, there are fair chances of they getting a good portion or share of their money back. I have dealt with so many matters where people have got the money back just by reporting on 1930, which is the central coordination number for the financial cyber frauds. They should not hesitate, they should not think twice. There might be some difficulty sometimes getting to 1930 because there might be a lot of people reporting to that particular number. But despite all that, you must try, every victim must try to get to 1930. And I must also caution everybody that please do not talk unnecessary things on 1930. Just tell them the UTR number or the reference number or the transaction number.
Hmm.
That is where they track the transaction. If you have suffered a cyber crime, you have the website or the police station, you can go and give a detailed report. That is subsequent.
Hmm.
1930 just tell that there is a cyber fraud happened, the amount, the bank, and the transaction number. That's all. And they will immediately try to block the fund. Everything else can follow. You can file the report online, cybercrime.gov.in, or maybe going to the local cyber police station or a normal police station. And then investigation can go on and the legal process can take place.
So exactly, as you said, Anuj, golden hour reporting is very important, something that you really need to understand. And it's not only that, cyber awareness is part of your financial risk management. Big rewards or big returns plus urgency is definitely the biggest fraud indicator that you must be factoring in. Please verify the investment portal before putting money or before buying anything from there, before trusting them. Also, do look at the regulator's website, as Anuj also recommended. Report your fraud as quickly as possible so that you can freeze the stolen money. So basic hygiene is the first step that you as a consumer, you as an investor needs to factor in. But thank you so much, Anuj, for joining us today and explaining all of these aspects of cyber security related to your investments, especially because it's your hard-earned money that we are talking about, and you explained it in very simple layman language. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
With that, it's a wrap on the Money Show as well. But before I close, just in case any investment related question you have, do send across your queries on a WhatsApp number or email ID. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.